After my last video about the reverbs in Cubase, one of the viewer asked how I get my vocal sound. I think he is referring to only one example that I had, because I had only one example of vocals in this live show. And this is from Colin Moss. Colin Moss is a singer my friend Reggie found on the internet, on Fiverr, or I think on Upworks, and asked him and paid him to sing on his song. And I'm using these vocals. I have not already mixed the song, but I'm using a sample of this song on my videos. So he said it's bright and a lot of sparkles, and this is mainly coming from the reverb. But first, let's listen to the vocals.
There's love in the city down in New Orleans. There's love in the kitchens of New Orleans. There is love in the city of New Orleans. There is love in the kitchen of New Orleans.
In this case, I didn't do too much about the vocals because this is only a premix. In today's music, sometimes I think, or I find, that the vocals are a little bit over-processed. You put on an equalizer, then you put on a de-esser, then you put on another equalizer, then you put on a compressor that takes away the highs, then you put back on an equalizer to get the highs and everything. And for me, one of the most important things is to have a good singer whose range he's singing in is perfect for the song and for the music and for his voice. In this case, Colin is singing fairly high, and I can show you also some details on the analyzer. So I'm using the Span from Voxengo as my main analyzer, and if you watch this, you will see that there is not so much in his voice at the 200, 300, 400 hertz range. This is where the basic tones of the normal voice is, like when I'm talking now and also when I'm singing. And he's singing higher than that, so it's a very clear voice. So that you can hear it, I can turn off the inserts, and this is what he sent me, the way he sent it.
There's love in the city down in New Orleans. There's love in the kitchens of...
So I put the spectrum on hold. Yeah, what you can see is here there's nothing below 200 hertz. I don't know how Colin recorded this. I think he then afterwards put an equalizer on it, or while he was recording, to get rid of some rumble and to get rid of the bass. And also here in the 200, 300, 400 range is not so much, and you have a lot of sparkle here. I think he used an equalizer to bring that up a bit. I can write to Colin and ask him about this. And this is very important. In most instruments and most voices, the basic tones, the fundamentals are, I say, between 150 and 400. And this adds up in the song more and more and more. And so you have to be very careful what you use. And normally I tend to use an equalizer and to dip this range a little bit to make it clearer, especially when I have some vocal tracks playing together. And there's not so many things more. I can turn it up here on the left side. You see the inserts I have. I can show you with this here. I didn't use an equalizer. I used the 1176 compressor. That was still going from the last live show I did about the 1176. This is the one from IK Multimedia. Let me turn that on so you can hear what it's doing.
Of New Orleans, there is love in the city of New Orleans. There is love in the kitchen.
I have some fast attack here and a middle release. Remember, in the 1176 the fastest attack is when you go completely clockwise, so a 7 here on the right side is the fastest attack, and 4:1 is a ratio, and just some gain reduction between 3 and 5 dBs, and that's all about it. And for the reverb, I used the reverence here. I used a external impulse response from the PCM 90 from Lexicon. I imported with the import function, but you can use any other reverb. It has to be bright, and maybe you put in some highs here. Let me show the equalizer. What I do is I just in the reverb get rid of some of the muddiness from the lows. In a reverb like between 200 or 300, here you see 290 Hertz minus 4.3 dB. So I dip this a little bit to make the vocal or to make the reverb a little bit clearer. Let's listen to this.
There's love in the city down in New Orleans. There's love in the kitchens of New Orleans. There is love in the...
So this is fairly long, the reverb, and very bright. You can use any other bright reverb. Just let's see what we have here in the stock plugin of Cubase. Let's see if we have something that says bright. Okay, don't have that. Played rich, bright Viennese Hall in Vienna. Okay, let's check this. Okay, the mix is wrong.
There's love in the kitchens of New Orleans. There is love in the city of New Orleans. There is love in the kitchen of New Orleans.
So make this a little bit longer. Go back.
There's love in the city down in New Orleans. There's love in the kitchens of New Orleans. There is love in the...
Then again we had the pre-delay of 78 milliseconds to separate it a little bit from the vocals, the reverb.
City of New Orleans. There is love in the kitchen of New Orleans.
So the important thing is to use the pre-delay function to separate the reverb from the vocals, from the original. To use the equalizer either in the channel or after plugin. If you have no in the channel, in the plugin equalizer, you can use the one from the channel here, or use an extra one that's coming after the plug in, and dip the lows a little bit. The mids here, I had 290 I think by the other one. So let's go here a little bit, and you can also brighten up here a little bit and make it fairly long, and just put it in the mix and see how it sounds. Be careful with the low mids. So let's listen again to this, and I have also some reverb that's going reverse here. That's here, and let's listen to everything.
There's love in the city down in New Orleans. There's love in the kitchens of New Orleans. There is love in the city of New Orleans. There is love in the kitchen of New Orleans.
Okay, great singer. I really love what he did on the song from Reggie, and I hope I find the time to mix it this week so that we finally have a good mix, and because there's way more than only this one voice in the song, and he's done a perfect job. And that's about it, about how I process vocals sometimes in this case, and experiment with it. Be careful about the low mids, and then everything's going to be fine. So take care in this Corona time, and see you next time. Goodbye from Harald from Hidden Room Studio.